As winter blankets Europe once again, the continent braces for more than the bite of cold winds. Snow sweeps across skylines, rivers freeze into still glass, and beneath that beauty lies a growing tension, the struggle to keep the lights on. Each drop in temperature amplifies demand. Every home, every hospital, every flicker of light draws from a system under strain, a network that must endure nature's fury and humanity's dependence. Across cities and small towns, heaters hum, boilers burn, and power grids pulse with energy. For millions, warmth is more than comfort, it's survival. The simplest routines, working, studying, gathering, hinge on invisible lines of power that weave through the continent like arteries keeping a body alive. As the cold deepens, engineers and utility crews work through endless nights, battling the elements to prevent disaster. One failure, a pipeline frozen, a plant offline, could plunge thousands into darkness and chill. The stakes rise with every falling degree. Europe's energy system, once a symbol of strength, now shows its age. Infrastructure groans under pressure, fuel routes grow uncertain, and the cost of keeping warm climbs ever higher. Families face hard choices between heat and food, comfort and cost. For the vulnerable, the winter isn't just cold, it's cruel. Governments scramble, markets react, and the hum of politics grows louder. From quiet villages to bustling capitals, people feel the weight of decisions made far beyond their control. Energy has become more than a resource, it's a measure of resilience, of power, of hope. At the heart of it all, the question remains, how will Europe endure the coming chill? As the winds howl and meters spin, leaders debate, scientists forecast, and workers stand guard over the grid that binds a continent together. Winter is no longer a season, it's a test of preparation, of unity, and of endurance. The outcome will not only decide how Europe survives this year's freeze, but how it shapes its energy future for decades to come. As frost creeps across rooftops and breath turns to mist, the continent begins its daily ritual of warmth. Thermostats twist higher, chimneys breathe, and the invisible pulse of demand surges through every grid and pipe. Each degree the mercury falls sends energy consumption soaring. It isn't a gentle curve, it's an avalanche of need. Natural gas becomes the lifeblood of European homes, roaring through pipelines that stretch from the Arctic winds to the southern seas. In a single cold snap, usage can spike overnight, a synchronized surge that tests every valve and circuit. Operators hold their breath, watching numbers climb on glowing screens, praying the system holds. Weather forecasts turn from simple predictions into strategic lifelines. When the forecasts whisper, colder, governments brace, companies hedge, and households steel themselves for heavier bills. Even the quiet hum of an office heater or the glow of a street cafe becomes a small act of defiance against the cold. Agriculture feels the freeze as well. Greenhouses glow faintly in the darkness, fighting winter with artificial suns powered by dwindling reserves. A mild winter can buy time, a harsh one drains everything in weeks. Yet in this fragile balance, nature grows unpredictable. Climate patterns twist and shift, throwing forecasts into chaos. The familiar rhythm of cold and thaw is replaced by volatility, storms, droughts, sudden freezes, each one a new variable in Europe's energy equation. So planners prepare for the worst. Backup grids spin into readiness, emergency reserves stand by, and across the continent, strategy becomes survival. Because one truth remains constant, winter always comes, and it always demands its price. Behind every window, light flickers, not just from warmth but from uncertainty. Households count every kilowatt, every spark of comfort rationed like a precious resource. Families gather closer, the sound of radiators now the heartbeat of survival. In some cities, lights dim earlier, public buildings turn off their facades, fountains freeze midstream, and streets fall quieter under curfews of conservation. It's not darkness by accident, it's a calculated silence, an effort to save what little remains in the grid. Factories hum slower, production lines stutter. Steel, glass, fertilizer, industries built on constant power now move in hesitant rhythm. A single blackout could halt millions in output, a chain reaction echoing through Europe's fragile economy. Meanwhile, small businesses face an invisible storm. Bakeries, workshops, corner cafes, once glowing sanctuaries, now run on borrowed heat. Owners weigh each decision, stay open or stay solvent. Governments step in, subsidies, ration plans, energy credits, but each solution feels temporary, a patch on a wound that keeps reopening. What was once a seasonal inconvenience has become a geopolitical chessboard where every move risks a ripple across borders. Across the Atlantic, allies watch and calculate. Energy exports surge, new deals are written overnight, and shipping routes glow red on digital maps. The crisis, once local, has become global, a mirror reflecting the interdependence of nations. And so Europe stands, proud, cold, unyielding, staring into the storm of another uncertain winter. For the continent that once defined industrial power, the new struggle isn't about building, it's about enduring. Beyond the power lines and refineries, a different current flows, political, unseen, but just as volatile. In the halls of Brussels, Berlin, and Paris, negotiations stretch deep into the night. Energy has become a new form of diplomacy, a weapon, a shield, and a bargaining chip. Pipelines that once symbolized unity now divide. Some nations push for independence, others cling to fragile partnerships that keep their cities warm. Each agreement is a whisper of compromise wrapped in the language of strategy. In Moscow, decisions ripple outward, through markets, through currencies, through the veins of Europe's infrastructure. Every cubic meter of gas carries weight far beyond its heat, it carries leverage. And every sanction, every embargo, reshapes the balance of power. Across the North Sea, tankers glide through mist, carrying liquefied promises from new allies. From the United States to Qatar, the race for influence accelerates, energy corridors replaced by ocean routes, pipelines by ports. Yet dependence is never truly broken, only redirected. New suppliers, new deals, same vulnerability. Europe's resilience now hinges on adaptability, on learning to bend without breaking. And so, as winter deepens, the continent stands at a crossroads, not just of temperature, but of trust. Because in this silent struggle for energy, what's really at stake isn't fuel, it's the future balance of power itself. Stay updated before the next headline drops. Subscribe now.